Hello everyone. Today I'm going to try to prep this brass that I've got for this 284. I've got 100 cases here. They've all been fired once. I used my Winchester primers. I used some bulk bullets I got from Midway, factory seconds. I think there were 162 grain in that 7mm. And I used a powder that I don't use, but I had enough of that to do what I needed to do. I kind of downloaded them a little bit at the bottom of the chart for that powder, so that it wasn't a real hard hit on them. So I'm just trying to figure out the process I want to use for prepping this stuff. The 243, when I worked through that, I had bought a lot of this new stuff and tried a lot of different things. So somewhere through the process of that gun, I kept changing my loading setup to where I got it where I thought it was near perfection. The results on that thing showed up pretty good, so I'm going to try to copy some of that I've learned with the 243 onto this guy, and see if I can get a little process going without going through the trouble of loading this stuff up and then changing things midway. I'm going to try to hit all this right up front. Sorry for the mess here. I think I have everything I need. I ordered a bunch of stuff in from 21st Century and Sinclair and stuff. I got tools for cutting the neck. I got tools for reaming the neck. This guy here. The bullets I'm using this thing, and the way that thing's been chambered. Now that barrel from Excalibur, they give you basically a factory type chambering, which when we're using these long bullets and I'm seating the things down in there, the bottom of the boat tail right here is actually right at the bottom of the neck. So I'm getting down in there. When I was loading these things the first time, I could feel that I was getting a really rough and hard spot to overcome to seat those bullets, in for the proper depth I needed to seat them. Well, the only depth I could seat them, which was right close to the lands. So I knew I needed to get on the inside of these things and take out whatever roughness was in there. And the necks were measuring, I was measuring these necks, and they were measuring close to 17 thousandths down to 14 thousandths. And that's a pretty good size swing. So I wanted to address that too. So when I'm sizing these necks down, I'm getting a pretty even, tension all the way around on the bullet. Not that I've got a hard spot, a heavier spot on one side and not on the other. So I wanted to uniform these necks pretty well. The shoulder bump on there, I've got my dies set up. I'm hitting these things anywhere from thousandths and a half to 2 thousandths and a half. That I'm actually pushing it back down. This is a fired case here. This comes in at 1.802. So I know where I'm at. That was 1.5. This case I've already resized, and it comes in at 1.7995, and that was enough to clear for the bolt to drop nicely. Anything less than that, I could feel some resistance, so I came back just far enough to where I didn't feel any resistance on those. The necks seemed to be setting pretty consistently, so this brass has been cleaned. It has been annealed. Now I'm kind of experimenting with the annealing temperature, so I might want to adjust that in the future, but I'm going to kind of monitor that on how well how much spring back I get off these things. If my shoulders are coming back and staying where I want them, and the necks are staying where I want them, I'm probably good with the anneal. Ended up buying some shell holders from L.A. Wilson for these things, so I can use this tool. Bought some mandrels. I don't know if you saw my little video on inside neck reaming, but it's pretty much the same process. You got to figure out where you're going to go and how much you're going to cut out. And I'm pulling out, looks like about a thousandth and a half out of the insides of the necks. And once I got down to the bottom of the case, I could really feel it was crunching pretty good in there, you know, right at that neck-shoulder junction, which is where I really wanted to get it cut. I use this countertop. We've actually glued and screwed a piece of 3/4 inch plywood under there, and the only holes I got in are those two holes there for my press. Everything else I can set up on here, and I use these C-clamps, and I got everything mounted on some sort of a piece of wood, so I can just move these things around or swap them out however I need them. So today I'm trying to get a process set up so I can go through this stuff in kind of a uniform production type thing and see if I can get these little guys set where I want them. Alright, here's where a multi-stage press could come in handy. I'm going to have to do this all in one step, but I've got to size all these 1/5 pieces of brass to be able to carry on from here. So I'll size them up real quick and go on. I don't know if any of you noticed yet that something's missing on that die. It's this guy, the expander, deprimer. I pulled it out. I don't use it in there. I don't drag that ball back up through there and change my neck around much. So I use mandrels on them, but I just wanted to point out that I just take the dang thing out. Alright, now that I've got all this brass sized, I kind of have a little system going. Go ahead and mandrel that up. Like I said, that is a 285 mandrel. So that opens it up pretty darn good. This cutter measures in at, looks like 283. So 285 mandrel, 283 cutter. The sheet's getting tight. I could almost use a nice turn handle on here. Now, I'm not pushing in very much. I'm just barely pushing in, but I'm catching them high spots in there. And they get a little stiff right there at the back of it. Nice clean cut in there. Okay, the little attorney damn thing lasted about 4 rounds, and I said, ski-roo dat. That wasn't working too good for me. So I came up with a better way to cut that out. It was quicker and easier on my damn hand, and it looks like it works pretty good. Pulled the handle off there and hooked it up in the old electric drill. And I can just run the drill in there, just cut it right out. Just like that. Much easier. Now this is something you only have to do once. Just that first time. You don't have to bother with any of this stuff again. Now trim the length. Little chamfer, a little deburr. Catch this deburr. That's it. That's all I want. I'm not using the VLD. Just a little twist on there. I don't want to cut too far into that and open that up any. just enough to knock a burr off. Now I'm using the Sinclair neck turning tool, which is set up for 7mm, and I've got a 284 mandrel in there. Since I've already got it opened up, I'm using a 284 mandrel on it, so it's about the right size. And I'm just going to kind of turn on this slowly and just take the high spots out. This one's actually cutting pretty far around. I tell you, there's a pretty good difference in the thickness on this brass, from 17 to 14 basically. So I just want to kind of turn it smoothly, just catch my little spots. I'm not pushing on it real hard. I've tried to adjust this cutter so it goes down in on the shoulder, but looks like it's missing part of it. Hit it with a little steel wool. And now our measurements are falling 14 thousandths to 13.5 thousandths. So there's basically a half a thousandths run out in the thickness of that neck now. Well, the run out on these guys is a little bit excessive. I'm going to have to deal with that, and that's probably my RCBS die. That should run them out of there straight, but I did see where they were kind of throwing them off again. I'll double check that after a good fire rate on these things to make sure that they are getting straighter. If not, I'll be looking for another set of dies. The neck tension on these things actually worked out pretty good. Looks like we're in the ballpark where I want to be with those things. So that'll help with our consistency numbers. And I'm going to load some stuff up for our next testing. And we'll catch y'all next time.